Hi, this is Starkie Sowers. Welcome to the Nutrition Mission Podcast from Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market. So the idea of this, Jessica, is to bring all sorts of things to the public's view as well as to some audible situations. So if you're driving down the road or you're doing this, you can listen to some of the episodes. We're going to have all sorts of topics, everything from like tea to sports nutrition to keto diets and the popular diets of the time. You excited for this?
So excited. So make sure you guys subscribe to our channel, and you can go find us on YouTube, like Starkie said. So are you guys ready?
All right.
We're all about the Nutrition Mission.
Hi, this is Starkie Sowers from Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market. Welcome again to another Nutrition Mission Podcast. Jessica, you're joining me.
Yes.
We're talking about tea today.
Oh, I love tea.
Okay, but before we go too far, I've got some hot water.
Okay.
What we've got to do is we've got to take some matcha tea.
Matcha
and
tea.
we've actually got to put it in here and blend it. So you want to do me a favor and stir that in?
Absolutely.
And I made it super strong.
This is a huge craze right now, the matcha.
Yeah. Matcha tea is
Tell
like
us
a
about
craze.
matcha.
It's one of the reasons why I thought I would talk about green tea, matcha teas, things of that nature. I kind of feel like green tea has kind of fallen out of, vogue right now. But it's kind of resurging, especially with the matcha tea moment, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about the differences in them. By the way, you'll notice I've got all sorts of teas laid out here, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got green tea, I've got green jasmine tea, I've got Darjeeling tea, I've got Earl Grey tea, I've got, as well as English breakfast, I've got kokicha, which I guarantee you've never had.
I've never had or heard of.
And never heard of, and you probably never heard of white tea.
I've heard of white tea.
All right, okay. And then, of course, you're making up the matcha. Go ahead and set that over there. Isn't that a brilliant green color?
So bright and vibrant.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like a yellow combination of green together. All right, so you ready for this?
Yes,
Here's some stats on tea.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
The Book of Green Tea, and there is a Book of Green Tea. The author says, green tea is poetry.
Green.
Pretty interesting, huh?
All right. Green.
By the way, doesn't it smell amazing in here?
Yes, the aroma in here is amazing.
Insane,
yeah,
isn't
it?
it?
So good, yes.
So good. Tea use is 5,000 years old.
I believe that.
I believe that too. Here's how it started. Chinese emperor had some tea leaves from the Camellia sinensis plant blow into some boiling hot water. And so he pulled out the leaves after a period of time, and he drank the water, said, "That's amazing." And that's what started the whole thing. And that's what started
tea
it.
was founded.
That's how tea was founded.
Accident.
On accident.
Amazing story.
That's cool, right? So the legend of tea says it was discovered in 2737 BC. Okay?
Wow.
So, you got the legends, the Chinese emperor, then you got all these guys, and they kind of argue who says what, right? So, all right, so let's just kind of follow along. Japanese tea hits Japan 1215 80. Okay?
80? Oh,
80.
wow.
All right.
Okay.
All right. A Buddhist priest, Yeshi, brings it to Japan for spiritual meditation. All right. Mm-hmm. So Japanese have elevated green tea to an art, matcha being one of the multiple green teas that they produce. Okay. By the way, the Chinese have an art. They have gunpowder. They have all sorts of different types of selections of green tea that they have as well, too. So don't be disturbed if you're a Chinese green tea or black tea fans, because it's there, all right? So then the Europeans, somebody hits on the trade route over to China, right? And the Portuguese Father Jasper de Cruz in 1560 brings it to Portuguese. Okay?
Okay.
All right? Great Britain, of course, eventually catches on. It's one of the last provinces that catches it. And in 1625, England starts its tea craze and replaces the national beverage known as ale.
Ale. Wait, alcohol ale?
Right. Tea replaces ale.
Oh, no.
Right? All right. So by 1708, tea import into the European areas goes up to 240,000 pounds. Do you know how much a pound of tea takes, how much space it takes up?
Oh, I bet a lot, because it's so light.
240,000 pounds
Wow.
would fill your office in your studio probably 80 times or something like that. It's insane, right? Mm-hmm. Not to be outdone, the English and the Dutch colonists bring the tea to the Americas in the 1600s, right? And of course, we know where it went was Boston. That was the importation route, was into Boston. It was heavily taxed. And those Americans, those outspoken, rude Americans, literally decide to have a war against England because of their control.
Oh my
and the tea ends up being the final blow.
The Boston Tea Party?
The Boston Tea Party. They just get pissed. That's it. They can't tax our tea. By the way, they had all sorts of bootleg tea coming in from American trade routes of other sources, and they weren't taxing it. And that's what the English were pissed about, is like, you can't let those Americans bring tea in without taxing us and us getting the tax.
They were...
And so they kept, mind you, there was other reasons as well, too.
Of course.
All right. All teas come from black, whether they're white, green, black, fermented or not fermented, come from the same plant called the Camellia sinensis, right?
Camellia sinensis.
So now I've got all these teas out here, and you were so gracious to taste all the olive oils. I thought maybe we'd want to try some of the teas.
Yeah, this won't be as bad as the olive oil.
Yeah, it's going to be, and it smells amazing, right? So what we'll do is we'll talk about the teas as we go through. So the first tea is white tea. So you'll notice with the color palette that you're seeing, the white tea is definitely not as green as the green tea. It's not white, clear white. It's obviously kind of almost like a yellow color,
it's more
right?
Yellow.
But it's not green tea.
No.
So the white tea is the same plant picked usually in January and February, before the leaf actually gets very green. Now, what's interesting is all these compounds that are in here that are so beneficial for health are known as polyphenols. All right, so say that 5 times. Polyphenol.
Polyphenol.
Yeah, no, ain't gonna happen, right? And it's what gives it the bitter flavor along with tannins. Now, here's the deal. As we go through the year, so to speak, so how is that white tea, by the way?
It has a little bit of bitterness.
A little bit of
to it.
bitterness, and probably a little bit more bitter than green, maybe, huh?
Yeah, it is. Well, I'm going to go on to the next one so I can kind of let my palate see the difference. But right now I'm picking up a lot of bitterness.
Right.
And then, but there's also like some type of like sweetness that you get too.
Yes.
But the bitterness overpowers it.
Yeah.
But it's very good.
It is good, isn't it?
It is very good,
It's
yes.
a very nice tea. Now, here's the deal. As we go down the list here,
Are they going to
the
get more bitter?
caffeine content is going to increase.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so as the caffeine content increases, the polyphenol, which is the heart healthy circulatory benefits, are actually going to decrease. Green teas.
The benefits decrease?
Yes. So we'll
So the
talk about
darker
that.
it gets-
So the polyphenols are the things that make green tea so popular as far as helping with like cardiovascular system, antioxidants, skin health, all sorts of different things. By the way, how's the green tea?
It's good. It isn't. It's not the same bitterness.
It's not the same, is it?
It's a different bitter. Yeah.
It's not as strong,
it's
but
not
it's
as strong.
different. So you notice as the bitterness, by the way, the polyphenols is the bitter.
Okay.
So now it's starting to go away a little bit, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
Wow.
now let's take so
white tea has the most benefits.
Yes, it's got the most antioxidant benefits,
Antioxidants.
less caffeine.
And less caffeine.
Okay. So
So
now
does this have any caffeine?
It's probably like maybe 10 to 40 milligrams of the max. Okay. So then we get to green tea and you're going to go 30 to 60 milligrams. Okay. Now we're going to go to the same leaf picked in the summertime and partially fermented.
Oh, it's partially fermented.
And it's called oolong tea.
Oolong.
And oolong is supposed to be the best for weight loss.
Weight loss. Okay.
Yes. And for like
Oolong.
metabolism.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's a type of green tea.
It's the same leaf, white tea picked in January, green tea picked like in April,
Okay.
oolong tea, same tree leaf, picked in the summertime.
That's how
and
tea
partially,
works?
yes. So it's partially fermented.
I'm like,
all right. So now let's
way.
try this.
And then this is
It's
partially
the same
fermented.
leaf that didn't get
same
picked
leaf.
before.
Just the
Now
time
we
that it's
picked
picked. Now it's an oolong.
Now it's oolong. And partially fermented.
It has a different taste.
Different flavor.
Yeah, different flavor, yeah.
How's the bitterness now? A little smoother.
It's way smoother. Way
so
smoother.
the bitterness is going away.
Yeah, I don't really-
Polyphenols are coming down. Caffeine's starting to increase.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know caffeine's an antioxidant?
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh wow.
So, all right. So here we go. We're rolling along. By the way, Some hands are going up in the back, going, yeah, caffeine's good for me. Yes, caffeine has incredible benefits, especially when it's. Is that smooth or nice?
Yeah, that's smooth. It's really good. And what month is that tea from?
Summertime.
Summertime tea. Okay,
right,
oolong,
so now,
summer, and good for weight loss and metabolism.
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right, so now let's take the same tree. Didn't pick the leaves. Now we're going to pick them in the fall.
Okay.
And now we're going to fully ferment them in the fall.
Fully
and we
fermented.
Have black teas. Same plant.
Did you see my mind go?
Right? The light went on, right?
Yeah, I was like,
so
whoa,
I poured out for you Earl Grey.
Okay,
Earl Grey has in it bergamot extract. It's my wife's favorite. She loves it. So bergamot is a citrus. It's like an orange.
You can smell the citrus.
Yes.
As you come in.
Isn't that amazing? The flavor?
And when you taste it, yes, it's almost like somebody squeezed
like
some
citrus,
lemon or something
into it. That's Earl Grey, obviously after the famous Earl Grey. And so here's the thing. This is where the European touch comes in. They love the black teas.
Okay.
Yeah, they drink the green teas and the oolongs, but they love the blacks. And so the Americans adapted to the black teas
most beneficially.
Because
that's what they were bringing over.
That's what they were bringing over.
Okay.
Right? The green teas kind of stayed in Japan, stayed in China. It was like, it really wasn't a big thing until like the 1990s around here.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was and I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So you've got this, the green teas and the white teas that seem to stay more in the Asian countries, which I know they tend to have like a lot of natural, holistic type of healing items, right? So would you say that, and then, these you said were more Europe, the black teas.
Right.
Did Europe bring it in not for the purposes of like the health benefits, but more of like something to drink, where in Asia it was more focused on health?
So you ready for this?
Yeah.
Each tea has great health benefits.
Okay.
So the black teas, believe it or not, actually help to prevent osteoporosis.
Oh, see? Okay.
So like oftentimes what happens is cultures identify with where their needs are at.
Okay.
So it's like, this tastes good. A lot of times when it tastes good, your body needs it.
Okay.
So the Europeans, especially being more cold and things of that nature, probably needed more of a warm tea
drink.
And something that's going to have more of the caffeine to kind of help with stimulating their systems and metabolism.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about India.
Okay.
So India, of course, grows a large amount of teas. Some of their teas were famous as they got delivered to Europe as well, too. Darjeeling being one of the number one Indian teas grown in a specific region down in India.
Okay.
Famous tea. But if you're the queen, by the way, who just passed away.
Yes, rest in peace.
Rest in
Queen
peace.
Elizabeth.
You had, of course, English breakfast because you had to have teas from all over the world. 3 different types of teas giving you the English breakfast.
And this one is a lot darker, and it has
Much
a more
darker,
red brown
color.
tint.
Yeah, and you notice both of these are black teas, right?
Yes.
And look at that, it's much darker, and you've got
It's
more.
more vibrant, definitely.
Yes. Okay.
So this is the English
breakfast.
All right, let's try
Okay.
it.
See how we like the English breakfast tea. A little stronger.
It's strong. I was going to say it's strong.
That's a kick,
It's
right?
almost like, you're drinking a coffee, I would say.
Yeah,
Right?
and that's exactly right. It's one of the highest caffeinated ones, so it's going to give you the biggest kick in the butt.
Okay.
But you know what's really important? Like so many societies, you're extremely industrious. So you got the tea leaf, and look at all the benefits and all the craziness. Antioxidants, heart healthy. By the way, green tea has ECGCs in, which is great for metabolism. So does oolong. Okay, so then you get into the black teas, especially for the fall months, for the winter months, the caffeine, for the less sunlight, also good for metabolism as an antioxidant as well. But you can't throw away the stem, can you? What are you going to do with the stem? You're going to make kolkicha.
Oh, so that's from the stem.
Twig tea, my favorite.
Really?
Yes.
So that's what that is?
That is made from roasted green or white or black, depends on when you pick it. They take the twigs and they roast them and they make kokicha, which has almost no caffeine.
No caffeine. It definitely has a different
Whole
flavor
different flavor profile
than any of the teas.
Isn't that crazy?
How do you say it?
Kokicha.
Kokicha.
I love it. My favorite tea. I drink it all the time.
What
Fun.
benefits do you get from drinking
Extremely powerful antioxidants.
powerful antioxidants?
No caffeine, almost like zero, less than any of the whites, the greens, or anything. I can't do well with caffeine. I do this, and it tastes amazing, and I love it. In the falls, I'm addicted. Fall and winter, I'm addicted to it. I drink it all the time. Cool.
Wow.
Let's talk about matcha.
Matcha.
Matcha is a ceremonial tea. Japanese ceremonial teas, they have special vessels and different types of cups that they actually make it in. It's designed to be celebrated for various reasons. It's very powerful in caffeine. It's the most abundant out of all in caffeine because, as you can see, the powder, they take the tea leaves, they roast them. Sometimes they'll roast them with different things such as like buckwheat or different things like that, and they actually form it in, or rice, and they actually put it into a powder so it becomes a carrier, just like this is. In fact, let's see what we got here. This could be just Japanese matcha powder, stone ground premium Japanese tenchi leaves. So it's a special type. By the way, you can get it ready to drinks.
Yes.
You can get them with cold, and you can also get them sugared or not sugared, ready to roll.
0 calories.
Yes, 0 calories. Okay. Now, take a little shot of matcha ceremonial tea. Kind of cool moment.
So what type of ceremonies are happening?
Could be various things. It could be like, a lot of times the ceremonies would be like, let's say like, wow, right? Holy.
That
wake
is,
up call.
Yeah, that's really strong.
Really? Now,
Very bitter.
I made it strong.
Okay.
And so it is bitter, and I made it strong so you can get the flavor and get the punch.
Oh, yeah, I got the punch.
Right? All right, so let's
almost knocked me out.
Right? Let's try the ready to drink.
Okay.
Okay. Which is brewed properly. Okay. It's going to be a little bit less because it's not quite as punchful as what I put together.
It smells different.
Yep.
Do you smell it? I didn't try it, but.
Yep, it does smell a little bit different. See what they've used here. Green tea matcha. They put a little bit of vitamin C. I think on those. Are just
the vitamin C.
That's what maybe just a little bit for preservative. So what's the flavor?
Hold on.
Real mild, right?
Yeah, that's why I was like, let me take another
I
drink.
made you the punch.
Yeah, you did.
I made you the punch.
Yeah,
I
it's very. It almost
good.
is like very light flavored water.
Yep.
That's what it tastes like. Like there's a flavor in the water.
Yeah. So when they make ceremonial tea, they'll make it at various different strengths, depending on the time of the day and things of that nature. All right. So that is your tea lesson for the day. Any questions?
Yes, I do. I have a lot of questions because I love tea.
Fire.
I'm huge into tea. And so one thing is, it's funny because somebody had once told me that the darker the tea, the less health benefits it has. But
and that was the theory for years. It's like, oh my gosh, black tea's not good for you. It's just a bunch of caffeine. So what happens is the polyphenols decrease in concentration as the year or the time of the plant goes on. Most powerful January, then less in the spring. So January is going to be the white tea, January, February, first picking. Then you're going to go into the springtime. That's the green tea. You know how colors are just vibrant green.
Yeah.
So that's the green tea. And then the same leaf, once again, picked in the summertime, partially soaked and fermented, becomes the oolong tea. Now the same leaf picked in the fall is the black teas, and it's going to be fully fermented, and it's going to have less of the antioxidants, but it has other different types of compound benefits. So since you asked, and you want to know those technicalities, here we go. You ready for this?
Yes.
All right. Caffeine, green tea, 20 to 60 milligrams. Oolong tea, 20 to 50 milligrams. Black tea, 20 to 90 milligrams. Theanine concentrations. Theanine is the amino acid that helps you think clearly.
Oh.
Okay. Green tea, 8 to 20 milligrams. Oolong, 8 to 15. Black, 5 to 10. Okay. So it's in there, but it's less, okay?
Less, yes.
Then there's another compound, it's not theobromine, I forget the name of it, which is a very powerful antioxidant. It's very low in the green teas, moderate 5 to 10 milligrams in the oolong, 60 to 180 in the black teas. So you get a different antioxidant compound that works in different areas. Oh. So it shifts as the falls and the colors change.
Yes.
Fun.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all this
right?
amazing information about tea.
Tea. right?
Yeah, and the history, so
Yeah,
awesome.
fun stuff.
And of course, at Clark's, there's what?
You gotta
There's
come
like,
down and get. Oh my gosh, we have
like,
a tea rooms.
Yeah.
And like it's
At
insane.
least like over probably 200 options of tea, right?
Yeah.
If not more.
Yeah, at
it's
least.
insane.
And we'll do another tea moment with like other herbal teas.
Okay.
We'll do an herbal tea moment, but this
That'll
is
be
like,
nice. Yeah, we're getting
this
into
is-
the winter season
yeah,
coming
this is just
soon.
a tea moment, so I thought we'd do teas.
Stock up on some
Thanks
tea.
for joining, Jessica.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
Starkie. It was
All right.
fun.
Great.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.